Hi, my name is Barbara Allan. I am author of the book Conquering Arthritis, What Doctors Don't Tell You Because They Don't Know. And it's been the #1 best-selling arthritis book on Amazon.com for over 8 years. What I want to talk about today is making non-gluten or gluten-free waffles. And we'll be doing that today with rice flour. The binder that's used in the particular recipe that I'll be making today is eggs. So if for some reason you have a sensitivity against eggs, you can use other alternative binders instead. Arrowroot flour is one alternative. If you don't have a problem with cornstarch, that's another alternative. Tapioca flour is another alternative. And in fact, in my book, on page 136, I give 23 different alternative binders that you could potentially use in these waffles or in anything else you're cooking. So I have a whole chapter on how to make food substitutions so that you can modify your favorite recipes, even if you have a lot of food sensitivities, so that you can still make really healthy, tasty food for yourself. And of these 23, 18 of these alternative binders are gluten-free. And for each one, I have a description of exactly what you need to do to, how much to use and how to prepare it so that you can use it as an alternative binder. And I invite you, if you do end up modifying this recipe and you find just the perfect arrowroot version or the perfect cornstarch version or whatever alternative binder you're using, to let me know, and if you'd like to share it with other people, I'll be happy to pass that on. It really helps when you have food sensitivities to be in a community of people that share and are willing to share their successes to make it a little bit easier for the next person. So we begin with 3 eggs. And half a cup of plain water. And then 1 tablespoon of oil. And any of you who have worked with me or taken the ALCAT test or had food sensitivity testing know that not all oils are safe for every person. So right here I have organic extra virgin olive oil, but if for some reason you know that olive oil doesn't work for you, then use an oil that you know is safe for you. So 1 tablespoon. And the recipe calls for a half a teaspoon of salt, but because I'm using sea salt, and sea salt is pure salt, whereas table salt is only half salt and it's half dextrose, I need to use only half as much as this recipe calls for. So I have in here 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And then 1 cup of rice flour. Oops. The rice flour I'm using is organic brown rice flour from Arrowhead's Mills. In the past, I've tried grinding regular rice. So this is basmati rice in my Vitamix, which is right here. And I've come up with something that was okay, but it was a little bit coarse. And what I found in this particular recipe is, even if I grind my own, that the flour is still soft enough, because part of what this recipe does is it has the batter sit for at least an hour and sometimes overnight. That's your choice. But the longer you have it sit, the less grainy and chewy the results will be. So if you like a bread-like texture that's hearty and chewy, only let this sit for about an hour. But if you like a softer texture to your waffle, then go ahead and make it up the day before and let it sit overnight in the refrigerator before you make your waffles. Or you could make pancakes with this. We're going to be making waffles just because it's so simple. So I've now made up the batter, and before I put it in the refrigerator, just to protect it, I put a plate on top. So we'll come back and film the actual making of the waffles when the batter has had time to sit. Here is the rice flour batter that's sat overnight in the refrigerator. We could either make this to use pancakes, or today I'm going to make waffles. So I've preheated a waffle iron with a nonstick surface. Now we'll let those cook. Takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes. There's a lot of moisture in there. Sometimes I'll let it go an extra minute or so, just so that it will be a little less soft and a little more crisp. And here we have rice flour waffles. I just put enough batter to almost fill the waffle pattern, but not very thickly, because as you noticed, or you may have noticed, that the waffles will puff up as they cook. So here we have another round of rice waffles. And these are really good if you want to freeze them, and make them ahead and freeze them so that on days when you're pressed for time, you can have a quick breakfast or a quick snack. If you can't have gluten-free bread and you're looking for something for a sandwich, I know it's a little weird to have a waffle for a sandwich, but you can still put traditional sandwich toppings on it and eat it like a sandwich. And I have other videos as well for other gluten-free bread alternatives, so I invite you to watch those as well here on YouTube.